Hello, Roy Mithril here once again, getting back to the Pikmin 1 No Deaths run. It's day 2, and we're going to the Forest of Hope. Speedrunners will usually spend a second day at the impact site getting more Pikmin together. A valid strategy, but I'd rather go ahead and get down to business. I'm not after a major speedrun after all, though my plans are still a bit on the hectic side. There are quite a few things I want to do this day. My Dolphin has returned to the surface, along with a Pikmin's Onion. Being alone on this strange planet makes me somewhat uneasy, so I shall call the Pikmin out of the Onion. All I need to do is stand in a light beneath the Onion and press A. So let's just go over here. And this is how we manage our Pikmin. We're just going to go ahead and get everyone out, and set them to work on breaking down this white bramble wall. The flower Pikmin will work on this a bit faster. Meanwhile, Olimar beats up a flower. Good job, Captain. Olimar can fight by himself if he really has to, but he can only defeat the weakest types of enemies. Pellet posies, well, they pose no threat whatsoever. Gonna go ahead and let 2 work on carrying the pellet back while these guys get back to work. So, as we get this back to the Onion, notice that the yellow pellet only gives us 1 seed. The red pellet, despite being the same size, that gives us 2 seeds. If the color of the pellet matches the color of the Onion, 1 pellets will give you a bonus seed, but it only seems to work with 1 pellets. The 5 pellet that I got back on day 1, for example, despite being a color match, I still only got 5 seeds for it. So maybe larger pellets, they work differently. Maybe they have a penalty if they're mismatched and you get fewer seeds. I'm not actually sure right off. So, time to fight a Dwarf Bulborb. If you land a Pikmin directly on top of it, it's a Goomba Stomp. An instant kill and the fastest way to deal with them. It can be a little tricky though to land the Pikmin directly where you want, so swarming them is another valid option. It's also worth noting that Olimar can actually fight Dwarf Bulborbs by himself, but it's generally not the most efficient way to go about things. But if all your Pikmin are busy elsewhere, it can help you multitask a little bit. Go take care of Dwarf Bulborbs while the others are busy. So the early part of this day, all we're really doing is gathering materials to make more Pikmin. And with all the stuff that I'm having to carry back to the Onion, this is precisely why I wanted to make sure that I had a bunch of flower Pikmin to help out with this. It's a rather drawn-out process. Yeah, notice that the leaf Pikmin are dragging behind a bit. So there is part of the Dolphin over there, but we don't actually have enough Pikmin to carry it. But we'll go ahead and look at it. Why, it's the Eternal Fuel Dynamo. It has an unlimited energy supply. I won't have to worry about saving electricity anymore. This'll make my fight for survival a bit easier. But we actually need 40 Pikmin before we can carry it. So we're gonna wait on that a little bit. We'll get it later today. Similarly, we don't have enough Pikmin to where we're going to worry about that sleeping Bulborb there. Okay, the 2 of you just stay there for a moment and I'll go get some help for you. I don't actually want to swarm too many on there because they're likely to get tired and fall off, and then I lose track of them. But for now, it's time to start harvesting the troops. In early gameplay, this is the major time sink, is getting everybody out of the ground. It takes a while, but it has to be done. If you've gathered everything that I have, at this point you should have a minimum of 77 Pikmin, and that's what I'm going to end up with. There is a bit of randomness to it, though. Sometimes when you defeat Dwarf Bulborbs, they'll drop pellets. None did for me, and so I have the absolute minimum of 77. I think the most I've ever actually had was 83. But it depends on how many pellets they drop, what colors they drop, that sort of thing. But there we go, everyone's out of the ground. And now we're going to bring them over here and start them on pulling out this grass. Because sometimes they find delicious nectar. Another intriguing discovery. A local variety of grass produces a sort of yellow nectar. When the Pikmin drink this delicacy, they instantly mature into flowers. This apparent Pikmin favorite seems to be full of nutrition. Closer observation is needed to determine the strengths and peculiarities of these flower Pikmin. As we've discussed, all it really determines is the speed at which they accomplish various tasks. So, with that ready-made source of flower Pikmin, you might be wondering why I bothered taking the time to mature my Pikmin in day 1. The thing is, the nectar is completely at the whim of the RNG, and so sometimes it doesn't appear at all. I wanted to make sure I at least had a group of guaranteed flowers to start the day, and to take down that first wall faster. So anyway, as you just saw, we swarmed that Spotty Bulborb. It's the quickest, most efficient way to deal with them, to just swarm them while they're sleeping, but there is also a hidden danger, and that would be encountering the crushing glitch. We'll discuss that later in a bit of extra footage. It did ruin an earlier attempt at this, so I saved the footage of it. It's quite sad when it happens. So with more Pikmin, they take down the wall a bit faster. We're going to go ahead and swarm this Dwarf Bulborb. Trying to Goomba Stomp that one, it usually leads to one of your Pikmin going too far and attempting to solo this Spotty Bulborb, and that's a really, really bad idea. Okay, all 77 still present and accounted for, so we're just going to park the army over here for the moment. We'll come back for them later. For now, it's time to get ourselves a Bloomin Onion. Man, it has been a really long time since I've had one of those. They're pretty tasty. So while we wait for that seed to sprout, let's multitask a bit. Beating up flowers, heck yeah! Olimar is the manliest. And we have a new little friend. The color is different, but it seems to be a Pikmin nonetheless. First glance suggests this one has what, in some circles, could be considered very large ears. It looks like it may weigh less than the others. In what other ways might it be different from the red Pikmin? No matter, they're obviously quite similar, so I shall call this one a Pikmin as well. So, time to start cultivating yellows. Indeed, they are lighter than reds. What this means is when you throw them, they'll go up higher. And so they can reach things that other Pikmin can't. Very handy. They also have another major difference that we'll get to soon enough. Of the basic types of Pikmin, yellows are probably my favorite. They're just fun to play around with, and, I mean, the big ears, they're adorable. They're like bunny Pikmin. Okay, so we have 3 of them available, and so we can do what I need to do. Let's just get them over here, and we'll gather these. The yellow Pikmin have picked up some peculiar stones. Why did they decide to grab them? This action seems to be instinctive to the yellow Pikmin. But just what are these strange glowing stones? Brightly glowing cracks cover them. Perhaps these cracks indicate that there's tremendous power locked away within. This merits further research. Actually, this merits things going boom! The glowing rocks the yellow Pikmin picked up seem to be explosive stones. Perhaps they know that these stones can be used as powerful weapons. The bomb rocks are dangerous, so I must take care when using them, but they should be able to blast open the stone walls that block the pathways. I may even be able to use them against some of the wild creatures. I must be vigilant. Pikmin I dismiss by pressing X bring their bombs when I call them back. Pikmin I throw by pressing A drop their bombs when I call them back. Keep clear of the explosion. When I touch Pikmin directly, they keep their bombs and fall in line. It takes some getting used to. My clock has indicated the coming of noon. From now on, I must pay close attention to the sun meter on my monitor and choose my actions accordingly. So it's best for me to review my monitor's data. Tutorials. Across the top of my monitor are the sun meter and day display. At the bottom are my spacesuit damage meter and Pikmin gauges. From the left, these numbers reflect Pikmin under my command, Pikmin in the field, and total Pikmin, including those in onions. To adjust my monitor, I can press L to rotate the camera, R to zoom, and Z to change the viewpoint. I can also press Y to view a detailed computer analysis. Good to know. But for now, more demolition. Lighter stone walls like those only take 3 bombs to destroy. There will be darker ones that we'll see later that take more stones. But for now, we're just going to go ahead and keep cleaning up the area around the yellow onion. Couple of pellet posies here. We need to get at least 10 so that I can carry back the Spotty Bulborb. Okay, we've got plenty. And we can go ahead and start carrying this back too. For the next major thing I want to do, I want to be sure I have exactly 10 yellows. I've made yet another Pikmin-related discovery. Just when I was about to exceed 100 Pikmin in the field, the onion stopped expelling seeds, yet the total number of Pikmin continued to climb. It seems that once there are 100 Pikmin in the field, subsequent seeds get stored inside the onion. Thus, no more than 100 Pikmin can be in the field at one time in any area. You can kind of use this strategically. If you want to grow your number of Pikmin, but don't want to take the time to have to harvest them all, just make sure that there are 100 Pikmin in the field, and then bring food back to the onions. Okay, so we've got our 10 yellows, and we're going to do a minor bit of sequence breaking. They really intend for you to have another type of Pikmin for this, but this works too, and goes ahead and gets it out of the way. I guess you could call this solution thinking inside the box. Those 10 yellows, they're going to be fine for now, so we'll just leave them there. Meanwhile, Olimar's going to go throw down. If it was just the Spotty Bulborbs here, I'd let Pikmin take care of it. But I'm more worried about the Sheargrubs here. Male Sheargrubs are dangerous when it comes to letting Pikmin fight them. If they manage to latch onto a Pikmin, they become invincible to all attacks except a Goomba Stomp. And since they're constantly moving, it's hard to land a Pikmin directly on top of one. But as long as Olimar's over here, he may as well fight these Spotty Bulborbs. Or, well, Dwarf Bulborbs, that is. I mean, they're still spotty. They're just tiny. The white female Sheargrubs, they're not really dangerous so much. Basically, they're just more of a distraction. Your Pikmin will instantly try and go after them instead of accomplishing whatever goal you set for them to work on. Okay. So with that, let's go ahead and gather everyone. We'll start by getting the yellows together. Now we'll come over here and gather the red army. Make sure everyone comes along for the ride. Go ahead and harvest these last few yellows. Oh, some of them actually became buds. Nice. And we'll go ahead and get everyone else out, so we've got 100 Pikmin in the field. Okay. Now we're going to dismiss everyone over here to separate them. Yellows are coming with me. They're going to go ahead and carry these guys back to the yellow onion to bolster their numbers a bit. And while they're all busy with that, we're going to take the reds. $20 go up here. They're going to start carrying that back. Now they can start carrying some of these things back. These guys can come over here and swarm the Eternal Fuel Dynamo. These guys didn't quite get on here. There we go. So now as to just what this thing is. It's my whimsical radar. With this I'll be able to see all nearby ship parts in a single glance. I just press Y to check it. This find fills me with great hope. I won't be able to use it until it's actually installed on the Dolphin, though. I really only wanted, 3 yellows, but 4 will be okay. We've got one more bit of demolition to do. And the Eternal Fuel Dynamo's been installed. Eternal Fuel Dynamo. This should light things up. No more candles for me. I've now recovered 2 out of 30 parts. If I can find just 3 more, I should be able to increase my ship's capabilities. So wait for these guys to pick up the bomb rocks here. I need to get them back to the landing site. I kinda don't want anyone too close by the wall, though. My clock is indicating the approach of sunset. Pikmin waiting beneath the Dolphin and Onions will probably enter the Onions on their own, but if I don't call the stragglers and add them back to my group, they may not be able to get back. I'm sure that the Pikmin still planted are safe, but I'm somewhat concerned about leaving Pikmin to fend for themselves in the darkness. Okay, we're gonna separate everyone out, and call the yellows. Okay, so we've opened that wall. And we've installed the radar. Whimsical radar. This important part can detect the locations of the other missing parts. The radar will be added to my monitor, which I can press Y to view. C zooms in and out. This will surely help me in my search for the remaining parts. And so that's 3 out of 30. Okay. Now, it's not entirely important that we put everyone back in the Onions, but we may as well. And also, just to show the radar, looking at the screen, I have a nice little view here. One thing I want to make sure is I don't have any straggling colored dots anywhere, because as you can see, there are color-coded dots showing where all your Pikmin are. It doesn't look like I'm missing everybody. Or anybody, I mean. The stars mark where our ship parts are, so that's handy to have. Basically, so long as your Pikmin are either within the landing site area, just the circle where the Onions and the Dolphin are, or in your party, they're safe. If they're just left to their own devices somewhere, though, they're not going to make it through the night. So, we want to be sure everyone's safe. In you go, guys. And with that, we're good. Everyone's safe and sound. It doesn't matter where Olimar is at the end of the day. He doesn't have to hustle to get back in the ship or anything. He's safe no matter where he is. But hey, we may as well head back over here. We have time. And so with that, day 2 is complete. Got everything I wanted to get done taken care of. I'm pretty happy with that. Sorry guys, no snacks for you. 2 days since impact. It appears that many of my ship's parts have landed in this region. If I can just recover the parts of my radar, I should be able to use my radar screen. How that would improve my chances. Then I'd only have to press Y to locate my parts. Olimar, we kinda have the radar already. Yet, there seem to be many hostile life forms here. If I'm attacked and my spacesuit takes damage, I must return to my ship, stand in front of it, and press A to make suit repairs. As I explore, I must pay attention to my suit's damage meter in the bottom left corner of the screen. And so, there we go. Day 2 complete. We've grown 120 Pikmin today for a total of 145. We've got 90 reds and 55 yellows. 27 parts remaining and 28 days to find them. We're doing pretty good. So we're going to go ahead and save here. And that's where we're going to call it for now. Day 2 complete, and we'll resume here next time with Day 3. For now, that's the end of this one. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you're enjoying the series so far, and I shall see you again next time. Until then, fare thee well. So now, let's take out the Spotty Bulborb. Swarm! 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 Make sure we still have 78 after that. We don't. We've fallen victim to the crushing glitch. And so I'm going to keep this footage just to talk about it. Occasionally, a larger enemy, once you've defeated it, will simply fall on one of your Pikmin, and the model collision works to the point that it just forces it through the ground and kills it without telling you. So unless you pay attention to the numbers, you won't even notice until it's too late. Game design! So, just a little quick proof of concept here as to why tossing more than 20 Pikmin up here is a bad idea. So I've tossed 22 up there, but watch when this falls down. Oh sure, now you're going to carry it just fine. That's the first time I've ever seen it successfully carried with more than 20 Pikmin. Any other time I've put more on there to carry it down from that cliff, it's tipped over, the Pikmin have all fallen off, and they've even lost their flowers. So that's the first time I've ever seen it successfully carried down by more than 20. Learning new things every day. And so, inconsistency wins the day. I actually came back here several times on a backup save file to try and show how this fails, and it never did. No matter how many I tossed up there. So, I guess on practice runs I was just getting unlucky and it never happened since. So, that's odd.